Hello, good morning. Um, what I'm about to tell you is considered code red by the NSA. Um, it's about a major gun reform in Washington, D.C. in the years to come. So, we have been developing a weapon, a future weapon for in the U.S. Market come 2025. It's called the lethal, LETHL. It's a handgun, and we can implement that technology into other like higher capacity assault rifles, like M16s, AR-15s, what have you. And it's a technological innovation we've put into firearms in general for the mass market in the USA. So what this weapon will do is that anyone can own it. Child, teenager, older men want to kill themselves by suicide. It does also. There is it has a capability that if you turn it on, then you cannot suicide with the gun. And how that works, it has a gyro, and the gun will only fire if you point away from yourself and toward a target. So if you point it to your skull, to your head, it's not pointing toward a target. It's pointing to you, and you therefore cannot suicide. But we're not gonna have that feature on any one of those guns because people have the right to take down life. It's our philosophy. It's what we believe. Here at the Secret Society of America. So basically, what this weapon will do, what I'm talking about, what I started off with the lethal technology, is that it's a standard 9 millimeter for handguns, and uh, uh, it basically is it's an electronic futuristic weapon designed and meant to kill. Um, so what you'd have to do when you walk into a store, a gun shop to buy it is all your information will be registered and stored electronically within that gun, and you can, once you've made your purchase, preferably by credit card, because that leads to, that means on some levels some clarification that I mean that you're not somebody affiliated with like gangs or say Hispanic, Latino, who just came into the country, want to carry out mass shootings, kill people. That you're illegal resident of the U.S., and you have the right to bear arms, um, preferably by credit card. If not, cash is also okay, because that way we can catch more criminals who want to misuse, the Second Amendment and just fool around there in America, killing people, taking lives. Um, so when you walk into a gun store, all your information, your name, your address, your date of birth, your social security number, it will all be stored within a computer and into your handgun. Um, it's basically it's not exactly 100% RFID technology I'm talking about here. It's a long range detection system that's in the gun um, itself, that when you once you walk out of the gun store, gun in hand, or then you're basically being monitored and under surveillance 24/7, and you have the wherever you go, the gun's position is picked up by GPS outposts located across the country. And you can use it at home. You can use it in your vehicle. You can use it. You can take it outside. There are no restrictions as to usage or where you can or cannot go with it, with the gun. It can be just a handgun, a semi-automatic pistol, a high-capacity assault rifle, semi-automatic, or anything that has this technology, the lethal in it. And lethal is LETHL. It's basically what it stands for is I'll have to look it up in my files that was sent to me by NSA. Lethal is the lifetime electronic target helpline. So and it's built in technology. Now you know my face. Now what I look like. That's lethal, LETHL, lethal. And once the gun is yours, then you keep it at home. You take it outside. If you once you approach like a close proximity, what I call an outpost. Like it could be like say one in a shopping mall, a school, a kindergarten, elementary school, movie theater, like it how it happened in Colorado, Aurora, in Aurora, Colorado, and also the nightclub in Colorado. Recently in Michigan State University, you could have the beacons over there, and then it's a silent alarm, so nobody knows about it except the for police and security on campus, that someone has approached the premises of the establishment with a gun, and then they'll take appropriate steps to subdue and apprehend the suspect, the perpetrator, the assailant that's going to carry out a mass shooting. And it's electronic technology, and your gun looks just like any other gun. So we're gonna spare no design modifications to any gun. We're not gonna implement anything new that it makes you think, it's just like a toy gun or like a electronic substitute for it, like you have battery operated air guns. No, it's nothing like that. It's the same deal, if not more powerful than the older counterparts. So the only catch here is that these guns will have a 3 to 5 year battery life, as to terms to the electronic technology that goes into the GPS and like when it captures the position and timing of your rounds that you fire. But it'll still work. The electronic technology is just as a safety measure in the gun. So it's not going to stop the gun from working once the battery dies out in 3 to 5 years. But what it will do is it's gonna send a signal to the FBI or NSA, other authorities in charge of this technology. It's gonna send out a signal that this gun's battery has died and the owner has not recharged his gun. It's just once in say 5 years at max recharge that you have to do for your gun, in order to keep like communities safer and like people safe and all of that good stuff that's gonna follow once this law is passed in Washington, that we have these guns now, and people gonna have to own these, instead. Another crucial safety feature that I just passed by while I was talking is, whenever somebody, the owner, fires this gun, information is going to be sent to the authorities, as because we know who owns the gun. um, um, and every time you fire, because once you made the purchase at the gun store, you entered all your information into the system, into the gun, and into the database, right? So once you every time you fire a gun, it's a record. Like, this person has fired so many rounds at this location, so the authorities know who's firing the gun and where. um, and for that, you need the battery alive in the gun. So once the battery it dies out in your gun in 3 to 5 years, at most, then a signal is going to go to the authorities, that's going to say that this gun is his battery is dead. In other words, this gun has basically, the safety features on this gun is now obsolete. People who love guns would like to say my gun is dead now. So and no one and if you charge up your batteries, it's gonna take what, an hour at most. Then you're good to go for the next 3 to 5 years again. So if not, no one's gonna come after you, but people are gonna know, the authorities are gonna know that you haven't recharged your gun, and you do not care for public safety. So they might come knocking on your door, give you a new gun. They might tell you to charge your gun. It's So it's just a small electronic, like a standard, like mobile phone battery charger. How you charge your gun. It's like hidden away inside the gun, so you can't really see it, or when you use it. So no one's gonna know you have like there's like charging like a mini dock on your gun. So don't worry about that. And a small red light will go on once you put it to charge. That's near the trigger, the upper left corner of the trigger. And once it's charged, it's orange, amber, and once it's done, it's gonna briefly go green for a few seconds, and then it's gonna go off. So you'll know your gun is charged once there's no light showing on your gun. So that's about it. And even when the battery dies, like officially, there is still another source of power in the gun, that if you use the gun, like information such as how many rounds you have fired is stored. And that's just, it's very simple. It's like every time you pull the trigger, it's like you don't even need electronic technology for this. Information is stored, like as to how many rounds you fired. Maybe not where, if the battery is dead, because we won't be able to connect with the GPS at that location where you choose to fire. So that's about it. I can even show you the prototype of the gun. You will not be able to make out any difference to a regular handgun. From a regular handgun, and you can you implement this technology even into the revolvers. It's just everything's embedded into the piston. I forgot what you call it. Forgive me. The handle of the gun. Everything's built in the inside. Like Intel technology built in. Everything is in the holster, I guess, is what you call it, of the gun, and no one's gonna see anything from the outside. So everything apart from shotguns and hunting rifles, we have this technology in the gun, in your guns. So basically, long story short, um, you take these futuristic weapons with you wherever you go, wherever you travel within the country, and no one's gonna say a thing. They're just as deadly, if not more lethal, than older guns. And children could buy them. 18-year. We're talking. I mean, 18-year-olds. Let's say they could buy a handgun, which is well, they're prohibited from buying handguns now. They can buy assault rifles, which the former president Donald Trump said is kind of peculiar a law, because like it's unusual. Why is it that they can buy like an semi-automatic and not a handgun? Doesn't makes no sense, is what he said once, and I completely agree. But now, come 2025, if this law is implemented, anyone can buy a handgun. Anyone can buy an assault rifle. There are no restrictions, and these are very powerful guns. So, but wherever you go, no one's keeping track of where you go, what you do with these guns. But the thing is, like, it makes it easier to apprehend a potential threat to a community, to a school, a gunman. Once he's in a high risk like area, and once like, say for instance, he's outside a school campus, say an elementary school, like it happened in Uvalde recently. Someone with a gun is approaching, they say 5 miles outside now, yeah, Uvalde again, let's say for instance. Authorities are going to know that someone with a gun is approaching the school again, and they're going to deploy countermeasures. Police are going to arrive there. He still has to walk for 5 miles before he gets to the school. So there is enough time to nail him, to catch him, to apprehend him, and to take him into custody, and that'll save lives. And like if you walk into like a subway, a metro, in say New York, subway, someone wants to carry out a mass shooting, an attack in the subway. Anyone entering the subway underground with a gun, through the main doors, entering the subway with a gun, alarm bells are gonna go off everywhere in the subway, above, at ground level. Authorities are gonna know exactly who it is, who is walking in with a gun into the subway, because as I said, when you register your gun, you have all your name information and everything, bio data stored with the gun owner, the gun merchant, and the same information is sent back to the feds, so they know about it too, who you are, who has bought the gun. So security personnel now know what you look like, and now that you're in the subway, what do you look like, and you have a gun, so they're gonna take you down, no matter what. You can't resist. Forces, these forces, who are going to come to stop you from carrying on another mass shooting. So we have subways covered, we have schools covered, we have movie theaters, churches, shopping malls, like any outside, public point of congregation we have covered. Also airports, like I said, subways. So yeah, mass shootings will be a thing of the past. in say 10 years from when this technology goes into full swing. So also, if you were to shoot like a loved one, say your girlfriend, um, then we would know that say such and such a person, Mr. say X, say Alex. Let's say Alex owns a gun. He shot somebody at this location, and he fired 4 rounds, let's say. Um, once they discover the body at that location or anywhere else, they're gonna know who his boyfriend is, and they have evidence that ties him to the shooting. Oh, because everybody knows now Alex fired 4 rounds with his gun at this location, and they can tie him to the scene and whatnot have you. Um, so homicides too, like in personal spaces, are covered with this technology. Um, and people can't get away with murder by guns anymore. And let's say some Latino has purchased a machine gun, and he walks into a house that he has some feud with, some beef with, regarding a drug deal that went south. Um, and he walks in. Well, before he even approaches the property, the residence, people are gonna know that somebody has entered this neighborhood with a gun. Somebody does not belong there, because every gun in every house, in every neighborhood is registered, so to speak, with that neighborhood information systems. You know what I'm talking about. So everybody there is legally protected to keep their guns at their home, but some outsider has walked into the neighborhood with a gun, and they're going to carry out a deadly shooting rampage at this house. So the authorities are on high alert by then, and before you can carry out a shooting, alarm bells go off, and everybody is cautious. They can save themselves, protect themselves. Needless to say, the Latinos, the Mexicans dare go ahead and carry out their plan, because they know they're going to be apprehended at a moment's notice. So that's not going to happen. And in the case of somebody driving into the neighborhood with a gun, knowing that the technology is not going to pick him up as a potential threat because you have the gun in your car, nevertheless, the authorities are going to know that, say, Juan, or say another Latina, let's say Juan has, or some other Mexican, Jonas is now in this neighborhood with his gun. Then the authorities are going to know about it, and they're going to deploy countermeasures, as I said, deploy personnel there who are going to apprehend them. Priority number one being to stop the shooting, catch them in their tracks. So they wouldn't dare go there in the first place. So we have thought of almost every scenario to stop a threat from carrying out their plans. A mass shooting, a homicide, what have you. I'd say a private domicile, or that is a residence, a house, a public establishment like a school or a church. So they wouldn't dare do that anymore. They would abstain from such a criminal activity, dangerous terrorist, domestic terrorism, so to speak. They would abstain from it. And we have safer communities, we have safer everything, and well, gun violence could be a thing of the past soon.